Let's see what Nemo's up to.
That's not a dreamscape. That's
Put on Vietnam War ambiance. It's really funny. Do one of the classics. Oh, that's good.
It's always a nice one.
What was that cat's name?
What was that cat's name?
What was that cat's name? Huh?
What was that cat's name? It's so hot in here. I'm dying.
Yeah, I run pretty well in the heat.
Are you?
For a big guy, yeah, I do well.
You've spent a lot of time in Africa.
See,
You.
those tropical diseases.
Yeah. John is immune to dengue fever, amongst other things.
Yeah, that's why my farts smell so bad.
It's all that herd immunity.
Herd immunity.
Yeah. I have a shot of vodka and I have a drink because I need one. I seldom need a drink, but I need a drink.
Why?
I don't know. I guess I should welcome everybody back. It's been a minute. They kind of noticed that we pre-recorded some of those episodes or one of those episodes. Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah, deal with it.
Deal with it. We're busy. You're lucky we record them at all.
I'm sorry I couldn't comment on the ginger singer that everyone thinks is a spook.
Ice Spice?
No. They would never. No. She would never. It's the guy that's trending for being a singer, for singing a country music about rich guys.
Oh, he's not a spook. That guy's a down boy coal miner.
By the way, if he were a spook, it would make him so much cooler. It would make him infinitely cooler. But he's not. The people that song resonates. It's like saying the most obvious things of all time. I didn't even hear all of it. I don't really know what it is.
It's like a lot of God bless America. He reads Bible quote.
It's for a certain kind of person in a certain part of the country. Let's just be honest about it.
That they like. This man is obviously. I just added him on my iTunes because I like his song.
Oh, it's a terrible song, by the way. Also, here's the other thing: the structure of the song is in no.
Well, we lost Tyler
by no
Childers,
standard is that good,
and we gained Oliver Anthony. This fella.
Oh yeah, and his hair is a different color red than his beard.
There's no way
like
that guy was in a conference room in Langley, speaking intelligently.
No.
Kick-ass guitar, by the way.
The song did nothing for me. Daddy's fucking hot in here.
You want to turn on the fan?
I feel
it doesn't
like
really
the mic
pick
picks
up.
it up.
It doesn't. It does, but it does. People, we're hot.
It does, but it does. Yeah, I know. It's like this. Do you want us to suffer? Do you want us to suffer for you? You want us to suffer? Okay, let me know in the comments. Would you like us to suffer in the heat, or would you be willing to sacrifice a bit on your end in terms of like the audio quality so that we're not drenched in sweat?
Or are we giving them a choice now for next step or what?
I guess. I mean, I'm such a I believe in democracy. Okay, as somebody that would like to uphold the democracy in this country, I'll leave it up to the listeners.
It is for the retarded.
What does he say? He's like a country by the people, of the people, for the people, but the people are retarded. That's the Rajneesh, folks. We should make that part of our opening theme.
We should make
just
a t-shirt.
That soundbite. Yeah.
We need to make a t-shirt with this font,
it.
the 1970s font, but it just says that on it.
Dude, why not? Why shouldn't we profit off his name? He profited off of so many people, and it would help him, in terms of his legacy.
Yeah, does he have an estate that'll sue us? Does he have an estate that'll sue us? Does he have a granddaughter that's gonna get pissed off?
I don't know, but if he does, I hope they publicize it for our benefit. There's so much going on. I was in Texas for 12 days, and you were not out of town. You were here.
I was out of town for a little bit.
You were in Joshua Tree.
Oh, no. That was a while ago.
Yeah,
I drove my girlfriend down from Seattle.
That's right.
It was fun. We went to Mount Shasta.
What's Mount Shasta?
You'd like it. It's a cute little town by a mountain.
Love a cute
in
little
Northern
town.
California. A lot of hippies, but it's like
kind of like Idlewild.
Like Idlewild in the redwoods.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cool vibe.
Yeah.
We had a sandwich.
That's very good. I was in Dallas where I didn't leave my house. I just didn't. I didn't leave our.
Those are the best.
I didn't leave because because it was so hot that you could not leave. There were excessive heat warnings every single day. It was, I'm not joking, 110 degrees.
That's too much.
And it's not. I mean, and it was mostly dry heat, but there was a little humidity too at some point, and it was fucking. It was difficult, to get
you guys
through.
Get humidity, right?
In Dallas? Yeah. Not as much as Houston, but certainly a lot of humidity. Not again. This was one of the less humid stretches, which made the heat slightly more bearable. And part of me, in some sick way, ended up liking it.
It's really good for your skin.
I ended up really liking it. And I ended up actually enjoying going out there. If I wasn't stranded, if I didn't take because our car doesn't have air conditioning, my mom's car. So I know. I know.
No.
And so it was just like,
get that fixed.
We could only go within like 3 or 4 miles before we were like,
that poor lady.
drenched in sweat. Yeah. I mean, we got to get her a new car. But also, like, sometimes the air conditioning will work, but when it's really hot, it just won't work. So I don't know how that works. By the way, my fucking car overheated the other day. That was crazy. My car overheated as I was leaving Chipotle.
What? How did you know? Did the dummy light turn on? Or
I
did it say,
left it idle for like 10 minutes, dude. And I never...
You can't idle a car for that long.
It's 10 minutes.
I don't know if you can idle a car for that long.
In the heat, you can't.
Yeah, no.
That's the thing.
I don't know.
I see people idling their car all the time.
You definitely can't idle your car for that long. All I know is that the police interceptor versions of the Crown Victoria, the police car, they make civilian versions. And one of the things on the police interception versions is they've made the car capable of idling for a lot longer because police officers idle their cars for like a long time.
Yeah, how the fuck do you not when it's fucking hot outside and you need air conditioning?
East Coast all the time when if it's cold, you keep your car on so the heat.
So I'm wondering, is there something wrong with my car then?
Probably it's an old car.
That it would overheat so quickly.
But I
turned it off. I turned it off and I sat there for 45 minutes just on Sunset Boulevard for 45 minutes and I just fucking hung out.
That Chipotle
for an hour, and I just like.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I waited. Finally, I was like, just to be safe, just to be extra safe, and then I restarted it and it was fine. It didn't overheat.
Yeah, you probably could have just chilled there for 10 minutes or something.
I know, but I was just like, was really trying to make it because it was still making a sound afterwards.
What sound was it making? This is Ida's car hour.
Yeah, what's the
what are you doing, like a Rajneesh?
Yeah, my car was meditating on Sunset Boulevard as it was destroying my life. I mean,
you go into Chipotle, get a bunch of Diet Coke and pour it on the engine.
By the way, I didn't even get anything from Chipotle because they were out of everything. So it was a pointless trip. I got nothing out of it, and I got accosted by a homeless person while I was there.
Oh, and you're stuck? What a horrible nightmare.
Oh, and I had to babysit at Starbucks. So I went, I wasn't even trying to go to Chipotle. This was ridiculous. This is my first day back from Dallas, okay? Yeah. And it's another, because Dallas was fun, but the heat makes you feel like you're in a fever dream.
Yeah.
This was very similar to that, except it wasn't nearly as hot. But I mean, it was hot here in LA, but I was sitting at Starbucks. Never again will I go to that Starbucks. I mean, anytime I go to that Starbucks, there's a problem.
Somebody has to watch her baby.
I literally had to babysit.
Did somebody ask you to watch her baby?
She was a really cute kid, and she was really sweet.
Yeah.
And really precocious and smart, and like 6 years old, could fully operate this iPad you could never believe, and had like Roblox downloaded, taught me everything about Roblox, which my little cousins have taught me about.
Roblox is like pedophile grooming, but yeah.
A what? Really?
Yeah, dude, it's like super fucking.
Is that for real?
Dude, yeah, there's like 40-year-olds playing Roblox and like, talking to kids online and shit's fucked up. Well, I'm not letting my kid go in any big online video game. You're not talking to anybody.
This girl, this was like all she did. Her dad literally, her dad was such a...
Oh, man asked you to watch it.
Her dad was a creep. Okay. He was trying to fucking, mac on me. All right. At Starbucks. And like, used his child as a pawn.
He's like, check it out. I'm fertile. He's like, here's my baby.
He told me immediately I have another daughter in Russia who's also 6 years old, but they're not twins. And I said... Oh,
he's like, I'm Mr. Worldwide.
Okay. Yeah, apparently he's Mr. Worldwide.
My seed gets spread far and wide.
But then he said he's on vacation. But then I saw he has an IMDb. I looked him up because I couldn't believe I felt so bad for his daughter.
What did he do?
His daughter was so sweet. Her name was Clarity, which I thought was a really beautiful name.
Hippies.
It sounds very Irish, though. Clarity.
Yeah.
Clarity Rose, really sweet kid. All she wanted to do was hang out with me. And then at one point, the dad said this to me. He goes, she wants a mommy. And I said, God.
Dude, you're fucking... This guy.
I wanted to call CPS on this guy.
Oh, this guy's horrible.
Oh, man. It was horrific, bro.
Oh, this guy's horrible.
He was in a tie-dye t-shirt.
Oh, what a cocksucker.
Tie-dye Fruit of the Loom.
He's in his 40s?
Yes, late 40s.
Guys in their 40s need to relax.
Long hair. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, I hate
clear,
this guy.
hippie failed actor kind of vibe.
I hate this fucking fag.
Absolute failed actor. No, please don't apologize. I mean, he was horrible. I felt bad for his daughter. He was a nice guy for someone who's definitely hitting on you, but then took advantage. Could clearly tell I wasn't interested. Mm-hmm.
But you still watched his kids.
He left her there, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to be mean to the girl because she kept wanting to play games with me. I was in the middle of reading a book. I was like...
That little girl is actually 35 years old. Yeah. And this is a con they play.
She's part of the KGB.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, because he had another daughter in Russia, and I was like, what? with obviously with another woman.
Yeah, also
because
sketchy.
they were both 6 years old, but not twins.
Oh, so he's like having an affair.
Odd.
He thinks he's like Andrew Tate. He's like, I have a daughter in Eastern Europe.
And he has an Instagram for a 6-year-old daughter.
That I hate,
which
that
is
shit.
I think like immoral
so much. I met a guy.
I find that
who does
extremely
that
immoral
with his son, and I was just like, dude, you're taking like glamour shots of your boy.
It's
and
fucking
put him
weird.
Online.
It's fucking weird.
I was listening to a podcast.
Because she's an actress, so he has like an Instagram for her to promote her as an actress.
Fuck putting
I know.
my kids on screen.
No,
Ew.
everything about the interaction couldn't have been worse. Like, it couldn't have been worse. The only thing I enjoyed was talking to the girl because she was very sweet and a cute little kid. I just felt awful for her.
Yeah.
And she said they were on vacation. And I was like, oh, well, where are you coming from? Like, and she didn't answer. So, like, there were certain questions she just, like, wouldn't answer.
Yeah, her dad's on the run from the FBI.
So, it kind of like a little bit of a dissociative response from the girl. Maybe I'm over analyzing this, but I spent like 30 minutes with this girl. And then he said, I'm going to go across the street. Are you guys good? And I said, excuse me.
What?
And I can't say anything because she's a little
she's a little
crazy. 6-year-old girl.
You got to stand up for
she's
yourself.
A 6-year-old. I didn't want to make her feel
watch
bad.
Your fucking kid.
No, I know, but I didn't want to make her feel bad. She already has him as a father.
Bad. It's not
it was
her
30
fault.
minutes out of my day. It was 30 minutes out of my day, and she was,
listen, you're actually
really
doing her
wanting
a disservice. You're giving her less reasons to hate her father by being with her.
Well, he's all she has.
Yeah, no, exactly, and she's gonna hate him.
What else is she gonna have if not him?
She's gonna one day.
She's
what are
fucked.
all the cool kids are like conservative now, right? They're like the Zoomers.
I don't even know.
So just one day she's gonna be like Ayn Rand because you didn't let her dad abandon her to Chipotle instead of watching her.
Her turning into Ayn Rand is the best possible case scenario. Okay,
it's like
and
a
it's not even actually
Jew.
even possibility. Like it's not even a possibility that she just becomes this self-starter because her starts writing a lot about architecture because her dad
her dad's
is obviously some sort of like failed artist loser who is like 45 pounds overweight and very sad.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, long hair with the receding hairline, all sorts of stuff is happening that's just wrong on its face, okay? And she's the only thing that's right about the situation because she's so nice and so sweet, even though she's clearly beyond repair addicted to that iPad.
Yeah.
Like to the point where it's actually probably the only thing raising her. And if in fact it is raising her, that's a better case than her dad being involved.
I just realized we don't have the sound on for the Nemo.
Oh, that's right.
Turn that bad boy up.
I thought you were about to say we weren't recording. I was.
You're like, Gah. There we go. Nice. Lovely. I was listening to a podcast the last 2 days where they're interviewing a 95-year-old Iwo Jima veteran.
Oh.
And you would love it. And it's so funny because this man, he's very cognizant. This 95-year-old man he can talk very well, and he's like, he understands. His brain is not full of worms. He must have been doing something right. Didn't drink much. But every thing, the guy's asking him like, what is the difference between back then and like today and like all this stuff and like every other it's just like every other thing is we didn't do that back then. None of this was like that.
He's how old?
95 years old. He remembers the Great Depression. He was like, he said, when they would wake up, when the president would speak on the radio, they would all stand up if they were in their house.
That's not true.
And he said they all loved Roosevelt, and he said when Roosevelt would speak on the radio, they would all stand up and they'd all listen to Roosevelt.
I bet some people did that. People loved Roosevelt.
Oh, I'm sure there were a bunch
They broke a lot of rules for that guy.
Oh, that guy kicked ass. And then
that guy.
And then
it was the guy who saved us from the Great Depression.
Yeah, he's like, he's talking about like, you just went out with a couple of dimes in your pocket and you had a ball. It cost a dime to go to the movie in the 30s. And he's like, it's just fun, but it's just the way the country's changed. It's like better, you know what I mean, in certain ways. But at the same time, one of the funniest things is the guy's interviewing him is like, it's that guy, Shawn Ryan, the ex-Navy SEAL.
God, why do you keep supporting this spook?
But he's like a Navy SEAL veteran of like
John would leave this podcast so fast to
be on Shawn Ryan?
just to be a producer on that show.
Every podcast,
and he really has no business producing, but you would produce his show.
Yeah, hi Shawn Ryan, hire me. Anyways, so Shawn Ryan's like, Shawn Ryan, the greatest interviewer ever, is like, so was there PTSD back then? And I know this, he was hoping this like Iwo Jima veteran be like, yeah, it was real bad. Like I would go home.
And he said no.
And he was like, no, we just went home.
Nightmares.
Exactly, that's what he said. He goes.
You ever had a night terror?
He had a couple. It was like I had a couple rough weeks, and then everything was okay because we just hung out with each other.
Yeah.
And he's like, we had a group of guys that were also to Iwo Jima that were in Detroit, and we just hung out and talked.
Just hung out. We fucked each other in the ass.
But yeah, man, it's just like it's crazy.
Some people say PTSD. Some people say, deja vu.
Yeah. You know, a lot of the stuff that we were talking about in the last episode's kind of fallen to the wayside. A lot of the UFO stuff's kind of just forgotten again.
Shocking.
I know, very shocking. They tried to get Grush.
Exactly.
They tried to get Grush on. They found out he had mental orders.
No,
he had mental problems.
He's mentally ill. Grush.
No, well, I mean, they found out
him?
they're smearing him. They found out he saw a psychiatrist or something.
God forbid.
God forbid a man who's a military veteran sees a psychologist. They tried to smear him.
God forbid a man who's dated extraterrestrials.
Yeah, man who
has to speak to a therapist.
Who's been bungholed by a ET has seen a psychiatrist.
Bunghole?
I don't know. I just made that. Bunghole. I think your bunghole is your butthole.
He was pile drived by a bunch of fucking aliens. All right.
He was given the hot beef injection by an extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they tried to smear him. I'm trying to do a catch up on what we did. Yeah. Shawn Ryan's doing more stuff. Apparently, he interviewed the guy who owns Skinwalker Ranch.
That's right.
There's a bunch of interesting things coming out. There's a lot of great. One of the I think one of the congressmen came out and said he saw a high definition photo of a UFO that was so high def.
Matt Gaetz.
Huh?
Matt Gaetz said that.
You said that?
I
so
think
high
it was
def
Matt
you could see
Gaetz.
the skin of the craft.
Matt Gaetz is a guy who I love, okay? And I
like Matt Gaetz?
People will hate me for this. People will hate me for this, and I understand why.
Who is he?
He is such a charismatic caricature of a human being, okay? Just a caricature.
Is he a congressman?
He, I believe, is the congressman in the 1st District of Florida. His parents were, his dad was a congressman as well, and I believe his grandfather was too, so there's a little bit of a political family thing happening, but none of them ever made it to, like, I don't think, like, major league politics, but he certainly has made a name for himself. He definitely bandwagoned with Trump and the election fraud and got on that whole beat and, like, definitely lied about whatever, the election and stuff. But I don't even find that to be an accurate metric of whether or not I like someone anymore, because I don't care, and Trump is fun.
Trump is, yeah.
And I don't give a shit anymore. So
you just like people who
I just want to laugh. Yeah, I don't really care anymore.
You're a real joker.
I don't give a shit. And I know that sounds probably really arrogant and shitty and whatever, sue me. I don't care,
We didn't do that back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day,
just like
we respected the process. Whatever that means. We talked about the real issues.
Be careful with that mic. It's bullshit.
Agriculture. It is bullshit. Mm-hmm. Motherfucker.
That's my mic. Is the other one turned on? The levels turned on it?
Does this work?
Nope.
Does this work?
Oh, but that's a whole separate track, right?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah, just be careful.
We'll keep it in. They'll just deal with it.
Yeah.
You're going to deal with that.
Listen,
all right?
the studio's falling apart.
Behind the scenes for you, folks.
Yeah,
yeah, everything's falling
apart.
Studio's
falling apart. Donate to the Patreon.
Yeah, thank you, please.
You gotta keep this bad boy going.
Almighty. Thank you.
People love the Hour. People hit me up all the time.
Do they?
They love the Hour.
That's really sweet. Well, where the fuck are they?
The real Stans love us.
Yeah, well, what were we saying?
Matt Gaetz. Sorry.
And he the reason I like him is because there's this documentary on HBO called The Swamp. And it features several politicians on Capitol Hill, okay? And he's one of them, and he is so charismatic and so interesting. And what I do like about him is that he works across the aisle. He will work with a highly progressive member of Congress on a bill that matters, and he calls a lot of shit out. He's called stuff out about Ukraine. He's called stuff out about again, definitely playing to an audience, definitely playing to like the reactionaries or whatever you want to call it, but says a lot of truth in between all of the hijinks and the antics.
RFK was going off on Ukraine, dude.
Was he?
Oh, this week I saw a clip of him being like,
RFK for president.
If they sent $180 million from the Ukraine and we used that, everyone would have food stamps.
This is a bad look.
It was. He talks like that. Don't give me that.
No, but he's who cares? By the way,
He talks like a mummy that just got woken up.
But I don't even hear it when I listen to him. I truly don't. I don't hear. Yeah, I mean, I
like to make myself laugh, but he talks like a mummy.
No, he doesn't, dude. I'm completely unbothered by his voice, and anybody who fixates on the voice that much is really not interested in the substance. Which, fine, you don't have to be, but
he's based as hell. But
yeah,
it's crazy.
And I don't hear the voice after 5 minutes of hearing him. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm sure with everybody.
It just like goes away.
He had throat cancer or something, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah, vocal cords.
Yeah, so we're really good people here.
What is the body positive? That should RFK's voice should be a part of the body positive movement. It is. It's the thing.
You can't see it.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like if you have a disability that's physical, you should be part of the body positive.
I don't even look at it as a disability. I look at it
blind
as
people.
I look at it as just a quirk. It's not even, and I don't even notice it, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I hope he becomes the president. I totally stand RFK. But if he doesn't get killed, that would be nice. Get iced. Yeah, who knows? But they don't even seem that interested in icing him anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you get too big to get iced. That's the only way to not get iced.
JFK was huge though.
Well, that was
shot him to death.
Back then, they were icing everybody.
The Dulles brothers were.
Yeah, the CIA now is
Co. Yeah, back in the day, just do like the Warren Commission.
Before that, they'd like ice whole countries. Like, I mean, they still do that kind of today, but like before, it'd be like in the 1800s, you just have like Rockefeller invading Panama.
Sometimes you should ice a country and to put them out of their misery.
Kind of. Yeah.
And by icing, maybe don't send $25 billion every quarter.
That's
to them.
insane.
We sent another $25 billion to Ukraine.
Fucking
amazing.
Insane.
And meanwhile, Maui's being completely ignored. Nobody gives a shit. This is another Katrina, seemingly. So
How many people died?
Well, there's 1,000 people missing. So
they're all dead.
I know. All dead. And there's 100 people confirmed dead.
That's a lot of people.
And people aren't hearing from their family members, and there's 1,000 people unaccounted for.
There's looting happening too. There's people getting their houses broken into in the middle of the night, getting robbed. The police presence.
Imagine the asshole that goes on vacation there right now. Imagine that guy.
I take a trip to Maui right now.
I mean, listen, it was all paid.
I mean, come on.
It was all inclusive.
Come on now, dude.
No.
Maui's the best island.
I've never been to Hawaii.
I've been a few times. Let me tell you right now.
Of course you have.
That was the best.
Of course. What, did you take a big family vacay?
Yeah.
Of course.
A couple Christmases in my youth were spent in Maui. Sorry my family was full of winners.
Yeah,
okay? Sorry my family was full of winners.
No, yeah, I get it. Listen, you have to apologize.
My grandfather was the lifeguard at the Long Beach Officers Club in World War II, so I could go to Maui.
I mean, Maui is. Yeah, I feel bad. I mean, people are fucking
horrible.
dead.
Nobody should.
Huge
apparently, real
wildfire.
estate agents are going nuts there. They're calling up all the homeowners, trying to just beg them to sell their property. It's just total predatory shit.
Oh,
it's beachfront property going for. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna fly down there next week. Get a 2-bedroom.
Like I'm looking at homes.
Yeah, I'm looking at home. Let's see. Do they have Craigslist Maui? No. Oh my God, let's do it.
Not do that.
Let's do it. There's gotta be.
Come on, bro. No,
Can I just a quick one?
Sure.
Craigslist Maui.
Horrific. God damn it.
No other podcast.
My heart really does break for everyone affected, which I'm sure is a lot of people. But it's easy for the Biden administration to ignore something like this because it's not part of the contiguous United States. Contiguous.
Let's see.
Continental.
Ooh, nothing really coming up.
Yeah,
right
good.
Here.
Anyways, next.
Hold on.
Terrible segment idea,
Yep,
John.
here we go.
Just awful. Just an awful thing to do.
Oh my God.
It's blown to bits.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Show the audience what you just show the audience what you, no, put your phone in the camera.
Let's see. It's if you can't see this, it's a burned out forest, and it says Is it independent residential and commercial estimators? We are sorry to hear about your recent loss due to wildfires and pray that you and your family are safe. We will soon be on site in Maui to provide our expertise to property owners, contractors, and public adjusters.
Say something nice for
this
once
ad is the place to assist individuals obtaining an accurate reconstruction loss estimate for real estate property.
Why are you smiling like a scumbag right now?
Because okay.
This is your Schadenfreude?
This is me being a dark doomer. Wow, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, John is like, well, it's the first of many to go very quickly. Yeah, he's like, it's the domino effect. It's coming for us. We're next.
We can. They got. I kind of want to live in Maui.
Listen,
look at the affordable housing in Maui. Look at how beautiful that is.
That's a shack.
I know it's a shack, but it's in the middle of paradise.
It's not. It's hardly housing.
That's $170,000 for my own piece of paradise.
Not anymore. I mean, the reason people should care about this is because it's fucking paradise. Maui is paradise. How the fuck are we going to treat it like this?
Was it volcanic?
I feel like it's a bunch of problems. And I hate to say this, but there's got to be some racism here on Biden's part, on the Biden administration. It's like they ignored Katrina.
Yeah.
Largely black population. Now they're ignoring Maui. Because they don't treat Hawaii like it's really part of... Obama's out there talking about it because he's from Hawaii. Biden... Yeah. Here's the thing. Everyone's mad at Biden for not saying anything about Maui. To his credit, he's dead. He's not like a cognizant.
Yeah, he's weekend at Biden's.
So you know what I mean? Like they're like he's on vacation. I'm like that means he's like in the hospital essentially. All right. Yeah. He's not like here with us. He's not aware of what's going on. He's like 95 years old mentally. So this idea that he's going to be like, on the ground and like doing presidential duties. It's not a realistic, let's just be realistic here about what our options are. And I know that it's largely like pomp and circumstance and a president touches down during a tragedy, but I think it's an important thing. I think it's a significant thing. When something significant happens, the president should go.
Yeah.
Should definitely go.
Why don't you fly out there?
Right.
He's
about to go on vacations.
Well, he's too busy playing war games, playing Battleship in the Ukraine to fucking fly out to Hawaii. If you told me as president that there was a disaster on one of the islands, I'd be like, oh boy.
You'd be like,
oh boy.
Sean be so excited for the opportunity to be like,
where am I staying?
I'm on the next flight. He's like, crisis in paradise. I'm going to the Four Seasons.
I'd be like, please, when I get off the plane, don't have anyone there taking photos of them putting the lei over my neck. And I want all the pineapple juice. I want all the coconuts, and I'll throw a lei into the sea.
Sipping a drink with an umbrella in it.
I'm walking. It's a coconut cup, and I'm walking with
everything's burning around.
Was it volcanic? What happened?
He'd be like, "It's such a tragedy." Yeah. Everything with his pinky up, I'd
be like, "Let's not
turns
forget."
Into Trump.
Let's not forget that this is the greatest vacation destination on planet Earth.
Yeah,
and God bless this country. God bless tiki theme things. God bless the tiki theme.
God bless Waikiki. That's just John.
God
John
bless.
goes to the podium. Yeah.
Dude, speaking of this, I met the funniest guy who came to my bar. His name was fucking. He was a white guy in his 30s. His name was like Kaleahani.
Oh, that's a nice name.
And I was like, what, dude? And he was like, listen, he's like me. He's like, my parents are boomers. And me and my cousins were all born on Hawaii. And they all gave us native Hawaiian names as a bunch of white guys.
Oh, no. They probably got the fucking shit kicked out of them in school, dude. They already hate white people. And I don't even blame them,
He goes by Kai. And he's like, dude, I have like a cousin named Kamehameha.
Oh, no. And he's just a white guy?
Yes.
That's so funny.
Imagine if I was named like Rakim.
Oh my God. That would be less weird, by the way. That would be way less weird.
Call me Rock? That kicks ass.
Well, at least because you're not in Hawaii, you could just be Rakim here.
Yeah, I love the Hawaiian.
And by the way, in LA, nobody would question you. They would think that you're just like an ISIS convert or something, which is totally normal.
They think I went to prison.
And by the way, you kind of have the look for one of those guys.
If I shave my mustache, for sure,
you would definitely.
I would look like a Dagestani. But the thing is like you would fucking love Hawaii. Hawaii kicks ass. It's
totally.
Like,
I want to go hula. I want to
go to a luau.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I want to go to a luau. I don't want to eat the pig, but I'll go to the luau.
The pig's delicious.
I don't like that the face is on it.
They cut the
you see it during the you see the Hawaiian food doesn't particularly entice me. Okay, I do like poke.
Poke is amazing. Teriyaki.
Don't really care for teriyaki.
Teriyaki really like a 1980s.
I don't really love sweet meats. I don't think.
You don't like orange chicken? Come on now.
That's different.
That's in its own.
And I prefer
subcategory.
sesame chicken. Orange is West Coast. So
I like
sesame,
Mongolian beef or Beijing beef.
Listen, I like Chinese food a lot, but that's not Hawaiian food. Hawaiian food is just straight like pineapple with something like a
Spam.
meat. Yeah, and I'm not really into that. But I'm sure they have stuff I would like. Poke I love. But
poke is amazing. Fresh fish.
Totally.
A lot of hamburger, steak, and rice.
I like that. I love that. I haven't really tried much Filipino food. I know there's a lot of crossover there.
It's good.
I don't know it, honestly.
You just get a lot of Japanese food and Filipino food and Polynesian, like all the. It's almost like all the Asian cultures.
Then maybe I would like
clashed in Hawaii. I know. I've only met a handful of people from Hawaii in my life, and one of them was a Chinese guy in his 40s, and he. It's just like he would just eat like he loved Spam. Fucking
really, they
spam.
Genuinely all like Spam.
It's because it's World War II. It's leftover shit from World War II. It's like K rations.
It's
and
like
shit.
Vienna sausages, right? What's the flavor profile of that?
Salt. Salt.
Salt. Fake processed meat.
I can't stand Spam. I can't stand
Never
it.
even tried it.
It's gross. You gotta fry it up. I don't like spackle. Have you read spackle? Mm-mm. It's literally just pork castings blended into a brick, and it's like big on the East Coast.
Spackle.
I like that name. It's like pork brains. It's disgusting.
Okay, interesting. There was. No, never mind. There was something I was going to talk about. Well, because there was something trending on Twitter. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about all this shit's happening with Hawaii, and I kind of just found out about it. Like, how did I not get the news?
I've only known about it for a few days.
I mean, I wasn't really like looking while I was in Texas. I wasn't really paying as much attention to the news. I was trying to be a human being, spend time with your family and those you love. What a concept! But then I find out.
Good on you.
Yeah, good on me. But then you feel like a piece of shit because it's like part of the world is burning down. You don't even know about it. You don't even know. And then when you do know about it, you're like, well, how am I supposed to feel about it? Something like this happens all the time. Like, not like this. And, this is kind of a historic thing. I mean, it's Maui and it's fucking 1,000 people are missing. And why is nobody, why is the president not even have a flight scheduled there? It's not even on his list of priorities.
Because they have to have a fucking IV on him at 24/7 and a life support machine. They can't fit the dialysis machine in the fucking airplane anymore.
Someone should go in his fucking place. I mean, for the love of God.
Kamala Harris, I know that bitch will do anything for a vacation. Send her to Hawaii.
Send her to Maui.
God.
Put her up at the Four Seasons. The thing is, they can't have her do public speaking.
Yeah,
so
Kamala,
what's the usefulness there?
You can wear your chucks on Hawaii. It's a more casual place.
Yeah. We did it, Joe.
Oh my God.
We did it. We landed in Maui.
The fucking village is on fire.
It's on. So as it relates to the fire and the fire happening, one thing we have to remember about the fires is that it affects the people who are part of this country and those who live in it.
What do you mean?
This is how Kamala speaks.
This is Kamala's speech.
She speaks in circles of three.
Yeah.
And nothing she says makes it. She's like, she says, while we think about the fires that have affected the people of Hawaii, we have to think about how those people also live in this country and how that affects the country on the whole.
Everybody's just
I'm not doing her voice. This is just
the blood starts coming out of her nose.
Speech patterns. Yeah, the blood. Yeah, she just starts malfunctioning like a Stepford wife.
Idea: send the Pelosi family to Hawaii. Paul Pelosi deserves a vacation.
Give them nothing else. No, he does not deserve a vacation.
Paul Pelosi needs.
We deserve a vacation from his existence. From that whole family's existence.
I think he should get some rest on Waikiki Beach, where he can
in Wailea
Paul Pelosi's on Waikiki. His head wound. He's recovering from his hammer wound.
At a luau.
Paul Pelosi's at a luau with a drool cup, and
he looks at the pig's head. He has a PTSD flashback. He looks at the guy butchering the head.
David DePape. Oh, that'd be a great season of White Lotus. Is David DePape is running the hotel Paul Pelosi is staying at.
Oh fuck yeah.
He's on like a work release program.
Oh my God, Paul Pelosi picking up trash on the side of a highway. I don't know why I've just been picturing that.
That'd be great.
It'd be great. It'd be great for this country. It'd be great for morale. We need a little boost. Okay, our Paradiso has been obliterated, demolished, essentially. And it truly is, I mean, a devastating thing. We just have no choice but to have like this gallows humor because, well, not that we're dealing with the gallows, I mean, but just the morbid approach to it you have to have, because nothing will ever be done to meaningfully benefit anybody seemingly that's been facing a tragedy. So I'm just waiting for like a big earthquake to happen in LA and like the homeless people move into our homes, and then we have to go back to the Constitution's like Fourth Amendment and the Quartering Act, and you have to start providing residence for homeless, which is like we're like so close to that happening.
LA's
not to make this about us, but just like it seems like if this can happen to Maui, I mean, is New York City next?
LA's prime for 2 natural disasters. Massive earthquake, massive earth, 3 natural, including the purge. The
Last of Us, which we're good living through, by the way.
Did you know that we are like it's very possible we could get hit by a superstorm?
Of course. And
that, like 70% of the city's going to be underwater.
What is it called with the winds? And there's like a Jose guy. The Jose winds. What am I thinking of right now?
The fucking the Jose winds. You mean
do you know what I'm talking?
You know El Nino and El Nino, the Jose winds. What is it called? Like the Chilaquile, the number 3 winds. What is it? The Pescado Mojado winds.
What is it called?
El Nino and
the Cheeto burrito.
The Cheeto burrito.
Yeah.
What is it? The burrito Mojado winds.
It's the Cuervos.
The Jose Cuervos. The Cuervos. No, they have El Nino, and then but we're primed for
the El Nino. Yeah.
I would never live in Long Beach. Long Beach would be underwater in like 3 seconds.
But it isn't. It's still there.
Well, they said I looked at a projected map. Long Beach is cool.
It's like an industrial paradise where it's not a paradise at all. It's actually just.
Have you been to the city part of Long Beach?
I've been to Seal Beach. I've been to Long Beach. Yeah, I've been there once.
San Pedro is like the tough working class part of Long Beach. Like San Pedro is like.
Isn't San Pedro? No, I'm thinking of San Gabriel. That's part of Pasadena.
No, San Gabriel's part of Pasadena, basically. If I went to a park in San Gabriel today. If I grew up in like the 1930s and 40s, I like to live in San Pedro.
Okay, why?
I don't know. I just feel like a bunch of guys with beanies on their hats, like going down to the docks.
Perhaps.
But also, I'm in LA.
The docks. It would be like, it's like LA's like the Wire season. What is it for? Where they're at the docks.
I would be running backwards on a barrel that's like rolling down the street.
Yeah. John's Long Beach fantasy.
Long Beach fantasy. My narcissistic Long Beach fantasy.
Dreamscape. It's very sad. Oh, dude. So I went to your place of employment.
Yeah.
On my way back, I took the flyaway from LAX. Okay, talk about a hell. All right, the flyaway itself is fine. The bus is fine. Don't love the flyaway because of the process it involves, right?
Waiting for the flyaway fucking sucks.
First of all, you go to LAX, all right? You're already air travel is one of the most demoralizing experiences, I would say. It's the one thing that it gives us the illusion that there still is some sort of middle class, when in fact it's only because people that are still doing reasonably well, like financially, are still sitting in the same vehicle as those of us who are not. Like coach and first class are still in the same Airbus. You're still in the sky with one another. But if you want to get on a private jet, that's like starting $45,000. So there's no in between. Like you're gonna be, you can do like early boarding or all this bullshit, but it's all bullshit. Okay, you're herded like cattle. If you want to get, like, as bad as that experience already is, imagine you want to get an Uber to take you out of LAX, right? You're already spending probably over $100 on that Uber, right? Regardless of where you go, you're probably spending upwards of that much money, unless you just like happen to live by the airport. All right, but so that's a pretty penny. And then you get herded like cattle to this area for Ubers and Lyfts, like you're a fucking dog. And I don't mean to be insensitive here, okay?
Yeah.
But I was lugging my shit. I think I like damaged my shoulder. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but like it hurt. All right, carrying all this shit. I can't carry all this shit, and I was carrying it all the way past a stoplight to the Uber and Lyft pool to the cab pool. And then if you want to get a cab, you can get a cab. But then if you want to Uber Lyft, you have to keep going all the way to the back, where you're then put under this tent, and there's a big line. And you have to, if you can even get service to order your Uber, which I could not. All right. Yep. So then I was like, fuck this. I'll finally just take the flyaway. All right.
Pretty nice.
Fine.
Once you get on the bus, it's nice.
Because I flew in on a Saturday night, so everyone's drinking and having a grand old time, right? So the Uber is already going to cost a lot. But I end up spending the same amount doing the flyaway that I would have spent on a fucking Uber. All right.
Well, it's $8.
Yeah, but getting the Uber from there back to here on a Saturday night was $40.
Wow, yeah. That's crazy.
So I spent the same fucking amount that I would have spent on an Uber on a Saturday night at the flyaway, except I lost 2 hours. And I feared for my life in between as well at Union Station. Getting accosted. At one point, I was taking a right to the east exit of Union Station so I can go to that like Uber Lyft pickup area, right? Fucking a homeless guy shows up in my face. He goes, "Hi, pretty lady. Hey, pretty lady.
Yeah.
Can I?" And I'm like,
that man's name was Joseph LaFleur.
Perhaps. But I don't mean to be sound insensitive, but like the Uber and Lyft pool of LAX, like it kind of feels like you're going to a concentration camp. Like they're taking you somewhere.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not, you know, the lived experience of those who did die in Auschwitz.
I'll let you run with this one. Go explain yourself.
I'm just saying the feeling it evokes is one that is, you know, obviously not like that, but very unpleasant and very eerie. And you don't quite know. It's like they all know what they're doing. Like all the Uber guys like know each other. I don't know. It's something's a little off about the fact that you have to like wait under a tent. You're waiting in these lines. You can't even get service. People are going. People are being shipped off somewhere. You don't know where they're going.
Yeah, there's a Nazi coming up to you who's asking you to choose between your daughter and your son.
Well, these days you don't know who's a Nazi and who isn't, John. I mean,
let's explain to those who are don't live in the greatest city on earth. Where the flyaway bus goes from Los Angeles International Airport to Union Station, which is where I work. To Union Station, which is where I work, which is one of the homeless epicenters of Los Angeles.
Correct. It's a homeless shelter that you can also take a train on and get a drink from John at.
And you get a drink from me. Now, I can take the flyaway bus because, I have keys to a private room at Union Station. I'm a man. I'm not going to get accosted. Nobody wants to rape me. And
there were some sketchy folks on the bus, too, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, there's always a guy.
Some people were on that bus that definitely were not on an airplane right before.
No. They were like
they were not on an airplane.
It is kind of baller.
They were maybe on a different kind of bus. They were not on the Airbus.
It is, people do, I think, take the flyaway bus to and from. People work at LAX. It's probably smart.
It's a great bus itself. Except the driver we had at one point, I thought was going to kill us. But
they haul ass.
They
can take the express lanes. That's the cool thing about the flyaway bus.
It was fucking terrifying. I felt like I was on the Magic School Bus, and I was like about to get fucking killed.
You're about to get shrunk to a really small size and go into a homeless
go
man's
inside someone's cranium and die. It was fucking awful. And no one would have ever heard. We were going to be like, it would have been like the Indonesian flight, except in bus form.
I mean, speed. They basically, so I had
the black box is missing.
I wouldn't let my girlfriend walk around downtown LA alone at night.
Well, that's nice of you.
Sorry, I didn't mean that as a shot.
No. Hey, by the way, it's a perfectly accurate. It's a perfectly accurate shot.
It's not downtown LA is not.
So it's a great point you make there, John.
Wouldn't let my sister walk around.
Wouldn't let a woman woman in your life. Certainly not one you love or care about.
Jesus fucking Christ! I started something. It is just not. It's gotten to the point now where
it was unpleasant. There were several homeless people. There was nowhere for me to go.
It's just the LA Metro is not safe right now. It's like New York City in the 1970s. Los Angeles is not safe. Los Angeles is not safe.
New York is not safe right now.
New York, I would beg.
Last time I went to Greenwich Village, I met a really good friend. Shout out to Julie, like a really nice, like really cool, pretty girl. So I'm happy it happened. But the reason we became friends is because I was so scared of what I was seeing happening on McDougal Street, which I'd never seen happen on McDougal
Street.
McDougal is like that's like the main street in Greenwich Village. And I've been there a million times and I've never had an issue. And then the most recent time I went, I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was like really crazy taxi driver vibes, like not fun. And then I talked to her and she like told me like a route to go on. So like the silver lining of that was that I made a friend, but it was like I made a friend because I was like asking another woman how to like get around safely in a part of New York that I've been to a million times. But it was just like, but again, this was like last year, so I don't know if it's sad,
like,
but
it's funny because actually Union Station, in my opinion, has gotten better since I started working there. But the thing is now it's just the general consensus is that Los Angeles.
It was just tweakers.
You can't. Well, I mean, when I was there, it was
The Last
violent.
of Us.
When I first started working there, it was violent. I've seen there had been a lot less stabbings at Union Station. There was a murder about 3 months before I got there. it's a lot less violent, and they've been upping the security at that place like crazy. They've been doing
They
this.
just found the Black Dahlia's body on one of the trains.
If you knew half. Oh yeah. Well, first of all, there was a woman who was traveling from. There was a murder.
The body parts found at Union Station in the 1950s, but if you saw half of what the security has been doing at that place just to corral the
security's all
homeless.
women, by the way.
Yeah, they can't. The security there will not help anyone.
I mean,
I had a man with a
some
knife.
of the women there that I'm like, first of all, why do I have to ask this bitch how to like get around safely?
Yeah.
She doesn't care about me.
She's like precious. She's standing there.
Not as fat, but close.
Yeah.
And you can tell like she just wants to eat. Like she doesn't, like she doesn't want to be there. She just wants to like scarf down a hoagie.
Yeah.
Fucking and not help me.
Yeah.
Okay. Reach safety. Reach a safe harbor where I'm not fucking accosted by a bunch of zombies. That didn't get cast in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's a fucking horrifying, John, that you work there, and I couldn't believe it. I was there. I was like, this is like a lovely place, actually.
It's a beautiful building.
It's a shame that it's being overrun by a bunch of creatures, essentially.
It's such an odd building. It's like, if you knew that, I talked to people who went there in the 1950s. I talked to people who went there in the 1970s, and I talked to people like in the 50s, it was like a really poppin' place. And then I talked to a guy who was like in the 70s, it was partially abandoned pretty much. All the windows were boarded up. This guy told me it was just bums, cops, and vending machines in the 70s. And
no
he said,
cops this time. No cops in sight.
Oh, well, that's what they do because
there was a rave happening?
Yeah, they have raves there.
What? There was a rave happening.
It's like a Batman.
And then I saw a bunch of girls that came from the rave, but they looked like they had just gone to brunch. I swear to God, it was like a nightmare. And
it's crazy.
At this point, I had been traveling for like 7 hours. By the way, my flight's only 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rest of this is just bullshit in between. Literally 8 hours of just like, okay, now I fear for my life. If I turn this corner, is this the last moment of my life?
Yeah. The scariest part is the tunnel going from the flyaway bus to the news station. Nothing. If anything's going to happen to you, it's the tunnel.
What?
So when you had to walk that long stretch of tunnel underneath the tracks.
Yeah.
That's
I wasn't even particularly scared there. I was scared when I was inside.
No, inside you're fine. Well, you don't.
I was not fine.
The level,
I was so far from fine.
The level of security. Well, first of all, the cops are there. You don't see them. They have a mobile office inside there.
What the fuck is the point,
dude? I've seen because they don't want police interacting directly with homeless people.
What about with the people that aren't homeless? The few of us that do exist.
This is the bullshit. The first line of defense is the security. Second line of defense is there was a stabbing that happened one night while I was leaving. And I swear to God, within seconds, I basically there are 2 cops that will sit in my seating area to like they kind of watch over me while I close at the bar sometimes.
Your little guardian angels.
And they're my little guardian angels. One of them's a humanities teacher at the police academy.
One of their
He's
names
funny
Jose.
as fuck. One of his name is Jose. It's a black dude and a Latino dude, and they're hilarious.
Jose and El Nino.
But they got a call, and as I was leaving the bar, they were like, I was just kind of walking with them to their call, and they're putting on the rubber gloves. And they're putting on rubber gloves, and they were like, you know it's intense when they got their hands on their guns and they're walking. And they're walking towards where the Wetzel's Pretzels was. And all of a sudden I see six more cops come out of
their guns. You know it was intense. They were headed towards the Wetzel's Pretzels.
They're headed towards Wetzel's. Well, right by the Wetzel's Pretzels, they have an office where there are like 6 uniformed officers in that office, like at all times.
And I guarantee you they're eating pretzels more than they're doing police work.
Oh, totally. But one of them walks out of there with a shotgun. And I was like, oh, shit's getting crazy. But there's cops. They drive around the station all the time. They have a mobile office in there where you won't see them. The first line of defense is the security there. And then if the security can't deal with it, then they call the police there. I was there during when they shot a guy.
Yeah, the first line of defense is a 300-pound woman. Okay?
Oh, first line of defense is literally like a woman who works at the DMV. Yeah, it's like a woman who works at the DMV.
But somehow less helpful than even them.
Oh, yeah. And
somehow.
But the it's kind of horrendous. Like the police are LAPD is everyone working there. The sheriffs used to have the contract. It used to not be LAPD, it used to be sheriffs. And everyone working there is begging for the sheriffs to come back. And they actually had it.
Because were they laying the law down?
The sheriffs would lay the fucking law down.
Good.
And the thing is,
they need a Texas state trooper in there. Let me tell you.
Oh God.
I mean, you want to talk about a scary guy?
Yeah.
Fucking, I've never been, the fear of God was put in all of us by just the idea of ever getting pulled over by a Texas state trooper. And I never have to this day, but I fear it.
You know what I want?
I know how they are.
I want Pakistani police inside there.
No,
I want to call, as the
John.
president, I would call and go, I want this city filled with Pakistani
This is the
police
radicalized
officers
ISIS member
from Islamabad.
inside of John speaking.
Yeah, I want some guy with a beret on that like is like fat and he's got like an ill-fitting uniform with like a cane and he runs around and just strikes people.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he doesn't understand.
And he's on heroin.
But the sheriff's one, there was actually, it was very funny. I was there during a shooting. A guy got shot with rubber bullets.
John recounts these memories as though they're like Christmas.
Oh, it was crazy.
Like it was like Christmas Eve.
Well, it's like I
was there and there was a shooting.
I didn't hear the guns
go off. In the middle of the stabbing.
Yeah, in the middle of stabbing. No, but there was, after the shooting, there was I all of a sudden see a bunch of sheriffs there, and I'm like, what? I was like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, oh, they brought us in for a month to clean the place up. And I was like,
and did
what? They did.
Good.
They did.
Fucking
you know what they
Rudy
did?
Giuliani. You know.
You know what they fucking did?
What?
The sheriffs were walking around with fucking German shepherds. That's what they fucking did. They walked around with dogs.
Listen, whatever gets the job done.
Dogs are scary,
Do
bro.
it.
If you're a fucking hobo and you're a tweaker and you want to show your penis to people, if there's a German shepherd or like a fucking Belgian
I don't
Marmaduke
know.
or whatever,
They're too
staring
fucked
you down,
up to even.
there's
know.
one pervert there. I know the pervert. I scream at him when he walks by.
Kill him.
Yeah, he's always. I've
allegedly.
seen his ass a bunch of times. I don't like seeing this guy's ass.
Well, definitely fucking take care of that guy. You know?
Yeah, I can go off about Union Station for fucking.
I mean, it just blew my mind because it's such a nice place. I mean, obviously, you know, we're not at Grand Central Station in New York City here, okay? But it's a nice historic place
Beautiful
in Los
building.
Angeles, and it's a really beautiful building, and it's being fucking overrun by animals, and I'm not going to call them human beings because the way that they have, I'm sorry, I know they're human beings. I know they're human beings. But I and the ones that figure it out and get off the streets, great. But, you know, and I know it's hard out here for a pimp. I do.
Yeah.
I know. But when you're threatening the lives of people, when you're approaching women because you're a drug addict and you're mentally ill, I'm so sorry. I'm going to side with the innocent woman.
Absolutely. 100%.
And I'm going to side with the person who's a law-abiding, for the most part, a functional member of society. Whether or not they're a net positive for the population is really besides the point. As long as they're not a net negative, as long as they're not fucking encroaching on people's personal space and making them feel afraid for their lives, especially women. You should not do that to women. You should judge a society by how they treat their women and their children and people that are, and we in no way prioritize that. It's actually so regressive to talk about these homeless encampments as though that's just some necessary burden we all have to deal with. It's not. We're burdened enough. We're burdened enough by an uncaring government. That's
which caused these, by the way.
This is
nobody's fault but theirs.
Exactly, and the weather. You know, it's nice.
Yeah. How about $25 billion into a quarter into fucking homelessness?
Yeah.
Well, the worst thing is
how about that to Maui right now?
It's a fucking industry now. Oh, you can fix that whole town for $3 billion.
I mean,
yeah, who gives a shit? You know, fix the whole fucking town. Give people free houses, $3 billion.
No,
Let's
John,
get in there.
It's got to go to Zelensky. It's got to go to a war that we know they're not going to win. It's unfortunate. It's our tax dollars. It's unbelievable, actually. The
second
crimes.
China invades Taiwan, Russia's going full force into the fucking Ukraine. It's going to be like nothing anyone ever saw before.
I mean, it's not even Ukraine anymore, probably.
Oh, it's going to be Russia's going to go full force in Ukraine and Poland.
It should be Ukraine, but listen, they you know the way I look at it over there. All right, maybe this is a little, maybe I'm a little out of line here, okay? But they redraw their borders every 20 years. The fuck are we supposed to care? I'm sorry. But it's like, and I did care. I was like really on board. I might actually help a Ukrainian guy if I can figure out how to do it. But my point is that based off of how they redraw their map over in the Soviet Union every fucking 5 years or whatever they decide to call it, all right, it's not pertinent to us. And by the way, if it is such a fucking problem, why doesn't the EU take care of it? How come we've spent more than double than all of the entire European Union helping? Germany doesn't even give a fuck. The biggest economy in Europe. They don't care. They don't give a shit. And they're the ones that are actually, in peril here potentially.
Everyone's a bunch of useless fucking bums, and except us, we all kick ass. And the thing is
we're so good.
We're a bunch of retards, but everyone else is a bunch of useless bums. It's like we're in a big apartment building, right? And
it's a big club, and you're not in it.
You're not, and we're the big himbo running the show.
We're the Chad.
We're the Chad who doesn't know how to spend his money and has it's just that's what we do. And this is obsession with UFOs over. Obsession with war in Taiwan is now my new friend. This whole situation is slowly gearing up to. We're gearing up for World War III. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Next 5 years, I'm going to call it. Next 5 years, there's going to be a big, giant global conflict.
I just hope that I'm financially secure.
You won't
when
be.
That happens.
You won't be. It's when China invades Taiwan.
Well, no, because I'll take my shit out of the bank. I learned from the Great Depression. I learned from the fucking.
Won't matter because the dollar's going to be useless.
Banks failing.
There's gonna be.
I'll convert that shit to gold.
That's the move. But the thing is like
I'm Iranian. I know what's up with that.
It really doesn't. Yeah, you have a little caravan with jewels and gold.
Iran has always been pro gold. I mean, just always.
You got to make more Persian friends. They'll help you out. By
the way, I have been making more Persian friends. LA
Very
Persians
good.
too. You know what that means.
I'm in with the Latinos.
That means.
I've abandoned the whites. I'm in with the Latinos. They're now my buddies.
All right.
That's the thing is everything's gonna get way worse in the next 25 years. And when there's another war in a part of the Pacific, shipping lanes are just going to be shut down. The economic situation in the United States is going to be horrific.
Big to do.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is I got, you know what, dude? It's like I don't want to live here during World War III.
No, I want to be in Europe.
I'll just die. I'll just fucking die.
I want to be in Western Europe.
You'll die. It'll be fun. It'll be great.
I won't die in Western Europe. No fucking way. No.
Yeah, Russia's going to invade Poland. Then they're going to invade everything.
You think I'm going to be in Poland? Fucking guess again, homie.
Guess how far they got last time. France. Where are you going to hide then? It's going to be fucking insane.
I'll find a part of France that's
our Navy's.
I'll go to Puglia.
Our Navy's slowly becoming
What are they going to come get me in Puglia?
Where's Puglia?
It's in Italy, retard.
They'll get you in Italy.
Not in Puglia.
Italy's actually cool.
They're not going to get me in Puglia.
Italian government's sick.
Love saying that word. Puglia.
I'll be in Sardinia. Eating cheese.
How far is Puglia from Sardinia?
Probably not.
I don't think it's that far.
Everything's like 20 hours.
I'll be in
Bologna. Out there. Oh, Bologna's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? Get me in Europe? No.
Well, it's not. You won't be able
Western
to really.
Europe,
you won't
Western
be able to
Europe.
really get to Europe. They're gonna.
Why not?
Because they're gonna be like, why are you here?
I'll take the flyaway.
You take the flyaway.
I'll take the flyaway to Italy.
But yeah, let me see this.
Yeah, what's going on with Taiwan?
What
do we have to worry about the Chinese? I've been watching House of Cards, by the way, season 1. I showed it to my mom. What a phenomenal show. For the first 2 seasons. Really great show. And actually, the second season I started, and I'm a few episodes in. They're getting into like online hacking, which is a super interesting subject, but I feel like the pacing is a bit off in the second season. Like you can kind of almost tell this is not for John. John, you look up what you need to look up. This is for the audience
I got it.
that has seen House of Cards. Like that second season, you can kind of tell the pacing's like kind of going a little bit downhill, but it's still super engaging, still really good. But the first season of House of Cards is just such a magnificent fucking era of television. And they broke rules, and they did it in a way that actually I was okay with. Like, this is the only show that I can think of where the breaking the fourth wall actually enhances the audience's experience, because you get a very unique look into Francis Underwood's mind, who is a very captivating character for all his faults. But I actually appreciated that he broke the fourth wall in that show. It was the only time, and sometimes it could be a little cheesy, sure, but a great show.
Yeah, I gotta watch House of Cards eventually.
You should. You would really, really love the first season. Just watch the first season, and I'm on films. I'm watching movies now lately. Are you on films? Are you on Letterboxd? I've been on Letterboxd. I need to be on Letterboxd. There's this guy Jason on Letterboxd who's like he's like this black dude that watches all these movies all day and like cooks, and he leaves these hilarious reviews on Letterboxd, he's like famous. He's like famous on Letterboxd. Yeah, I'll have to I'm gonna read one of his. I'm gonna read basically every podcast I've been looking into saying but tell me about war in Taiwan within the next 2 years, and I just read the CNBC article. China hawks says Beijing could attack Taiwan by 2024. Yeah, I mean, this is even in House of Cards season 1, like they were talking about what's going to happen with China. The shift is slowly moving from Ukraine, and now the focus is now moving towards China, making China the enemy, because they realized they couldn't make Russia a unified enemy. They can't make China the enemy because we have too many trade deals with them, and all of our manufacturing has been outsourced to China. So how are we going to, without getting ourselves in it, we have to build our economy up before we can even get anywhere near defending Taiwan. But of course, we'll probably stupidly defend Taiwan before before we boost our manufacturing and everything. Taiwan's the only place that makes microchips on Earth, pretty much. So that's right. I didn't realize that was Taiwan. We've been desperately trying to
put that in the United States, which I don't know why we haven't.
How are you going to do that without pissing off China?
So we, this is the thing. So our Navy is slowly becoming, China's really catching up to our Navy. And their Navy isn't like a big, like broadwater Navy the way ours is. They don't have like nuke, but they're like, if we got close to China and we were doing like naval battles in China, it'd be pretty fucking bad.
Which one's that one with the boats?
With the Navy. The Navy's the one with the boats. But anyways, this is all the boats and the ships.
What's that one? Is that the one with the boats or with the planes? And I know one of them is with the boats, but then they also do planes.
What's the one with the hot guys?
Yeah. What's the one with the hunks? But isn't one of them where they do planes and boats? Aren't there people flying planes for the Navy?
Yeah, there's a naval aviators.
That's fundamentally
Navy's planes and boats. Marines is planes and boats.
That's very confusing. Why can't they figure it out? Why can't the guys that do the planes hang out?
Everybody's got planes.
Okay, that should be Air Force only.
No,
just as a matter of like simplifying and compartmentalizing.
Army has like helicopters and planes and shit.
Okay, but what?
Fighter jets are Air Force and Navy. Like I don't know.
Why do they get to be in the Navy? They should only be in the Air Force because it's for the air.
Well, they need fighter jets on boats, so it's like, what are you gonna a bunch of Air Force guys on boats? So then
have them on the boats, but then they're Air Force. But then they're Air Force.
Well, it's like
they're hanging out with Navy people all day, huh?
Point is now
they should be called the hybrids.
The hybrids.
They're hybrid. They're Navy and Air Force.
Spaceships are for the Guardians.
And aren't Air Force the smartest ones? You have to have the highest IQ to be in the Air Force, right?
No, you can be a retard and be in the Air Force.
I mean, but out of the 5, you have to. How many are there?
I think you could go the farthest in the Air Force with a high IQ.
I think it's pretty well established that the Air Force are the smartest guys.
Probably because it's the easiest branch to be in. Like the joke is like,
physically you mean?
Physically and like the amount of like
makes
breaks
sense.
You get, and it's so chill just being in the Air Force.
Yeah,
like,
you could have like color blindness and like take years off.
I went to
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I went to a military base. I stayed on a military base for 2 weeks in New Jersey, and it was a half Army, half Air Force base, and like the Army section of it was like crumbling and horrible, and the Air Force section like kicked ass.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was so nice.
I would totally do Air Force. If I had to choose, gun to head, like, I would be in Air Force.
You should be in Air Force.
Well, I would be in the Air Force, right? Like, if you had to...
You behind a fighter jet would be hilarious to me.
Well, what? Oh, you think I could be a fighter
You'd
pilot?
You'd be like, zip.
You'd
be like, zippity-doo-dah.
Up and away.
You say that's your code name is up and away.
Yeah, by the way, if anybody has a connection... before I forget, this is super off topic, but I didn't want to forget this. If anyone knows of a studio I could use in New York, I really want to interview George Santos in person.
Oh, he wants to do it in New York?
I want to do it in New York because I'm afraid of a delay and obviously you know.
Yeah. No, I would be there for that.
But I need to figure out a studio, and I might use... No, I'm not even going to say it.
We'll figure it out.
I would like to have a studio, and if I don't have to pay for it, that would be cool. Even better.
We can rent one.
I don't want to pay for it.
Well, it's gonna be like $50. Who gives a shit?
I doubt anything will come of it.
You know what? The cost of having lunch with George Santos is gonna cost more than renting the fucking thing because we're gonna ball out. You know we're getting appetizers.
Yeah. And, we're gonna be at fucking Quality Italian, okay, or Quality Meats with George Santos. We'll be at fucking.
But yeah,
we're gonna go to Pastis with Santos.
They ran like 25 potential war games with Taiwan with China.
They're always doing that.
No, this was the most comprehensive one. Apparently, most of the war games run in the government or completely top secret.
China would eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
China lost every one, but it came at like an intense cost. Like we lost like 3 aircraft.
Here's the thing:
carriers.
the whole thing with like getting in a war with Taiwan. The only reason it would cause that's I know, but I'm saying for them to get in a war with Taiwan. Ostensibly, you're saying we would then back Taiwan and get in a war with China.
We already have a treaty with Taiwan. It's kind of like a bullet for bullet treaty.
And it was wrong when Nancy Pelosi went and visited Taiwan as Speaker of the House. Super overreach, super weird that she ever did that. But you would hope that some cooler, less geriatric heads would prevail in the scenario in which we have to decide if we're going to back Taiwan against China outside of this treaty. If it's something like relating to like a world war, hopefully we would have a little bit more...
I think backing Taiwan is a lot more morally justifiable than backing
Who
Ukraine.
cares what's morally justifiable?
I think a lot makes a lot more sense because if
it's
Taiwan
actually
gets
less
invaded,
morally justifiable because that's
way more morally
you can only judge moralism, I think, from a utilitarian standpoint. Like it's very not utilitarian to support a small country and then put the rest of the fucking world in danger.
Well, the world's going to be in danger.
In favor of a small, tiny country, which is essentially what's happening with Ukraine as well.
I think the
you're
odds,
killing Ukrainians in the process of supporting them.
I think if we didn't back Ukraine and Russia just took Ukraine and you had all the war crimes and everything, I believe Russia would just end with Ukraine. I think if China actually invaded Taiwan,
it would not end with Taiwan.
It would not end with Taiwan. No. You would have a crisis in South Korea, and Japan would enter the war, which would be really fucking interesting.
Well, but here's the thing. How do we know if they would or wouldn't end with Taiwan? They really want that smoke with Japan?
Because Japan doesn't really have a lot of smoke, but the thing is China has been
I think Japan has allies. I don't think they would just go down immediately.
No, and
Taiwan probably would.
We have to we'd be backing Vietnam,
By the way,
which would be really fucking interesting.
I have no idea what I'm
Philippines.
talking about.
Well, China's been so much more aggressive with their territories than people are going to shoot back at me for this because, Russia's actually taken action Ukraine and invaded countries. But China, over the last 70 years, has been so much more aggressive with their former territories than I think Russia really has. Russia.
You know what China needs?
What?
Opium.
Well, they do.
Hate to say it.
They do. You know what it's called?
Hate to be the one to say it.
You know what it's called? TikTok.
I think
TikTok is China's
we
literally.
might all need a little bit of opium.
China's new opium. TikTok is China's response to the opium.
By the way,
wars.
TikTok is our opium.
Yeah,
that's
China getting back to us for the opium wars.
That's called globalism opium.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane. But yeah, I think China invading Taiwan, it would immediately put Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, and Vietnam at risk. Vietnam, Cambodia, and all of Southeast Asia, essentially. Just because all those places were also former. I mean, we're going back like hundreds of years.
God bless them, and God bless all involved.
Well, I wouldn't fuck with the Vietnamese. I'm just saying that right now.
But we did. And what happened?
And we don't fuck with them again. China fucked with the Vietnamese right after we fucked with them, and it did not end well with them either.
China's a big bully.
China's a big bully.
But they created COVID.
They do things quietly,
they created COVID, bro, and it's all like stop Asian hate.
I believe it was a mistake. I think it was.
No, I don't think China I think it was. I think it was negligent incompetence, and I think that's tantamount to something purposeful. Because if you're not taking every possible precaution in an institute of fucking virology, and you're not taking every possible step, and by the way, this is our fault. This is the NIH's fault. So I reserve judgment against China. It's also China's fault, by the way. It was a team effort here on behalf of the United States and China to fucking decimate a large percent of the population because somebody couldn't figure out lab safety protocol. Okay, some fucking basic shit. Like, remember when you were in lab classes as a high schooler and nobody wanted to deal with the
rooms.
Oh, the water. What is it? If you get something in your eyes, you go to the water station.
None of them worked.
I mean, we all had to fucking do that bullshit, and we're not in the National Institute of Health. Mm-hmm. We're not fucking associated. I'm not a virologist.
Yeah,
and I had to do that. So why can't the real deal scientists fucking figure out how the fuck not to leak like a bat virus to all of us?
Well, what's crazy to me is why are we
funding it?
Why are
we still going to fund it?
Why are bioweapons legal? It's not. It's why are we not? What do they call it? What's the opposite of proactively? Why are we not proactively? And I know we proactively ban drugs in the United States. We actually ban drugs that don't exist yet. We'll actually come up with chemical compounds that don't exist yet and ban them preemptively.
That's funny.
It's crazy.
That's kind of funny.
Why? How come? And we don't get together in the UN. We know what technologies will exist in the future, and I know exactly what the answer is to this. We definitely do. I definitely know at one point in the future there's going to be drones that are going to drop from plane that will attach your fucking head and explode. I definitely know there's going to be bioweapons. It's going to be a big part about future warfare. We've banned gas. We've banned the use of flamethrowers. We've banned the use of a ton of shit.
We only ban gas in a certain part of New York, though, to be fair.
They why don't we proactively ban weapons of war the way we ban them after they're used, and I know it's a kind of a loose ban. Like, I know Russia was dropping like sarin gas or whatever the fuck in Libya, but
what's the deal with
Libya,
Syria? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, and also like we even break the Geneva Convention tons of times. Today, that Iwo Jima guy used the flamethrower in Iwo Jima. Like like big flamethrower, and like during the interview, the guy interviewing him, Shawn Ryan, hire me.
God damn it, John! With the Shawn Ryan, what do you work for this guy?
Shawn Ryan was like,
are we CIA by via your obsession
Ryan.
with your parasocial relationship with Shawn Ryan?
Shawn Ryan was saying if I used a flamethrower in when I was in the military, I would be in prison right now. Like that is like those are like they're interviewing a guy who's using a weapon that is banned in war now because it's just so disgusting.
Why is he interviewing him? What's the whole point?
Well, it was legal at the time. It was legal at the time. It's
hold on. What's the basis of this interview? What's he really getting to the bottom of?
Not many 95-year-olds are alive today that are as cognizant as this guy, and very few. And I don't think there's enough guys who survived Iwo Jima, which is one of the biggest battles of World War II.
This is elder abuse. Shawn Ryan is participating in elder abuse.
When this guy was describing the Japanese, it was insane.
Well, was it really racist?
No, it was just sad. Like he's saying, like, and I guess they got into it in that movie Letters of Iwo Jima. Like at that point,
I didn't watch that. It looks like a real tearjerker.
Oh, at that point in the war, the Japanese kind of realized they were being lied to about this holy war they were in. They were stuck on islands where they were like, flea ridden. Like their whole military.
They're very
stoic,
though. I mean, Shinzo Abe.
They were nuts.
Was not great.
But imagine, imagine fucking you're in a bunker and some guy lights you on fire and you run out of the bunker and you're just shot to death. Oh, he says they're fine. Like it'd be horrible. I'd be so mad.
I'd be really mad.
I'd be really mad.
By the way, that would be honestly, John. And I don't mean this is maybe a stretch. That'd be a huge injustice.
Yo, that pissed me off. That would grind my gears.
Literally lit me up. Like
yeah, I'm autistic.
I would be tweeting about it. Okay, yeah. I'd be posting about it.
You're like I'm on fire. I'm in Iwo Jima.
By the way,
on
guys,
fire.
it's literally lit. Like I'm literally lit right now.
I love autistically info dumping. Yeah. Why don't we? Why are they developing bioweapons in Wuhan and
Hey, listen. Why not? Why not?
It's just the scariest part of war is like
I got a reason. Boredom. Okay.
Yeah, but like, they're gonna come up with a weapon that will just like kill specific ethnicities, kill specific people with like
they already have.
Yeah, they probably already have. It's not that hard.
It's called Malthusian.
It's called Sketty. It takes out white people by the thousands in the South.
It's called Malthusian. Malthusianism.
What's that?
You don't know what it is? Here, check it out. Check it out.
Check it out.
Oh my, starry-eyed surprise. The Malthusian. My mom always references this. It's named after Thomas Robert Malthus. Is that how you say his name?
Malthusian,
whatever. Yeah, so it's, they call it the Malthusian trap. So Malthusianism, am I saying this right?
Is this an actual bioweapon or is this some weird philosophy?
Malthusianism, I don't know. Is the theory that population growth is potentially exponential according to the Malthusian growth model, while the growth of the food supply or other resources is linear, which eventually reduces living standards to the point of triggering a population decline. So basically a purposeful population decline by means of, I don't know, a bioweapon, by means of a natural disaster that perhaps could have been averted, things like that. Or, occurs when population growth outpaces agricultural production, causing famine or war, resulting in poverty and depopulation. Such a catastrophe inevitably has the effect of forcing the population to, quote, correct back to a lower, more easily sustainable level quite rapidly due to the potential severity and unpredictable results of the mitigating factors involved, as compared to the relatively slow time scales and well-understood processes governing unchecked growth or growth affected by preventative checks. Malthusianism has been linked to a variety of political and social movements, but almost always refers to advocates of population control. The Gaetzes of the world, if you will. These concepts derive from the political and economic thought of Reverend Thomas Robert Malthus, as laid out in his 1798 writings, an essay on the principle of population. Malthus suggested that while technological advances could increase a society's supply of resources, such as food, and thereby improve the standard of living, the abundance of resources would enable population growth, which would eventually bring the supply of resources for each person back to its original level. Some economists contend that since the Industrial Revolution in the early 19th century, mankind has broken out of the trap. Others argue that the continuation of extreme poverty indicates that the Malthusian trap continues to operate. Others further argue that due to lack of food availability coupled with excessive population, developing countries show more evidence of the trap as compared to developed as compared to developed countries. A similar, more modern concept is that of human overpopulation. And then there's neo-Malthusianism. Damn, I didn't even know about this. Is the advocacy of human population planning to ensure resources and environmental integrities for current and future human populations as well as for other species. So that's the crux of what it is. But
Yeah, that makes sense. And then population you get wars and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you can kind of justify a series
It corrects itself.
It corrects itself. Yeah, it's fine. Let them die out. You know what I mean? What's the worst that could happen? All right, what, your Union Station is overrun? You know, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, folks. It's
we're gonna
hot.
we're gonna have a big blast on the page.
Yeah, we're gonna have a great blast because I have some stuff I can't talk about on both. Some crazy experiences I had in Texas recently, like a really crazy experience that is has me a little fucked in the head, like Matrix style.
Dude,
fucked in the head.
We'll do some more Reddits, maybe.
Oh yeah, we have to do more of the "Am I an asshole?" They liked that. They liked,
people love that
by
shit.
the way, I shockingly loved it.
Was that on the last Patreon?
You know, it was on the public.
Okay, so basically, we're gonna do I read Reddit posts and
"Am I the asshole?" It's fun. It's our Dear Abby segment. It's our Dear Abby column.
You can send me or send Ida "Am I the asshole?" moments in your life.
Oh my god, please.
Why don't we do and Ida mentions before we do a love line. If you have questions you want to ask.
Oh, should we do that? Like have him call one of us?
We could have him call in.
That would be crazy.
We gotta. Well, why don't we just? I don't want to get my phone number out.
Yeah, maybe it's too soon.
If you have any questions you want us to answer,
comment it.
Just
the YouTube
questions.
comments I read the fastest, because they're just there and they're public.
If you're embarrassed to post them publicly, then you can contact either of us.
Ida
probably has way more DMs than I do, so why don't you just contact me? Just John
you can
Batman.
Contact me too.
JOHN.
It just might be a minute before I see it.
JOHNBADDMAN on Instagram. If you got questions about your life, follow me. If you have questions about your life, or follow Ida. If you have questions about your life or anything funny you want us to weigh in on topics.
Yeah.
People do it for Hate Watch for me, and but I love the Ida Hour listeners. They're much more like.
Talk about how great they are. Tell them how much you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of my supporters. I don't call them fans. Supporters. A lot of my supporters.
A lot of my family. A lot of my fam.
It's like Fast and Furious out here. A lot of my supporters.
Too fast. Too furious.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time, and a lot of my supporters they can be very incel adjacent sometimes.
Oh,
Ida Hour people. Bit more high IQ, bit more high IQ, bit more normal, bit more
fucking thank you, really
joking around.
By the way, I assume this fully reflects on me.
Yeah, for sure. Me. If I was on my own,
the incels hate me. I imagine they would have no part of this.
I still get some gutter heads out there.
Dude, people want to find gutter oil and they can't.
Yeah, people are like, "What the fuck happened to gutter oil?"
I told them, I'm like, I don't know the guy that John worked with. I don't know.
He's viral.
He
went
died
viral
or something.
Gutter oil will be back one day.
He died and took the fucking hard drives with him into his coffin. I don't know what to say.
It was
They're all
too
gone.
free for allish, and I didn't have enough time to really put all my focus into it.
But people fucked with it.
People fucked with it because it was so punk rock and cool, But bottom line is,
it was before you said that.
No, it still goes because I am punk. Gutter oil, a version. I will have a podcast when I'm able to work less.
Yeah.
When I'm able to work less, I can put more time into it. And I don't have to worry about getting stabbed as often.
In the meantime, you have two podcasts, one of which is far less incel adjacent, but also has
far less incel adjacent
listeners as well. Oh my god, this mic!
A lot more like college educated people hitting me up from Ida Hour.
Oh hell yeah!
Not that that's any reflection on anything. I hate you guys.
Well, it's tantamount. I will assume that all of their college degrees. By the way, let me know what your college degrees are in, because I'm gonna repurpose them as my own.
Liberal arts.
Yeah, I wonder how many of the people that listen to me are. Do I have any science heads?
Poli-sci people.
Do I have any sci guys? Like, do I have any STEM people in there?
I had a lawyer hit me up the other day.
Lawyers, I fucking love. If I have a lawyer listening to this, Dude,
I need a lawyer.
What a boost to my
I need
system.
lawyers. I need people who can, I need machinists. I need, we're going to start a co-op and it's going to be cool.
Yeah. All of our listeners are actually the audience members of the All In podcast with Naval, with Shamath and all of those guys. No, I mean, the thing is though that I relate most to the working class people that listen to this because that's what that's what I am.
You're real Bernie bro.
No, it's just because it's my bracket. Like it's my bracket. That's why like the idea of a lawyer listening to this is like crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? They're like doing depositions.
Yeah, it's like the lawyer from
what are they doing listening to me?
Yeah.
Rattle off like fucking a bunch of nothing about a bunch of shit I don't know about Chinese politics. Not a fucking clue what's going on over there, but never stopped me from talking about something, huh?
We can talk about it all day. But anyway, we're going to get some fun shit on the Patreon.
We're going to go to the Patreon. We love you all very much. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, anything else, John?
No.
Good night.
Good night.
And good luck.
I love sipping these and pretending I'm like a little Italian man. Oh, how wonderful that is.